Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at acupuncture.
It's great to be here.
Our listener today is really interested in how acupuncture might be able to help with insomnia and anxiety, and they even sent over this research paper about acupuncture and melatonin and sleep quality. It's fascinating stuff.
For sure. It's something that we get a lot of questions about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in this research paper they were looking at, it involved 18 adults who had insomnia and anxiety.
Yeah.
But it wasn't severe enough for like a clinical diagnosis or anything.
Right.
So what were the researchers trying to figure out with these volunteers?
Well, they basically wanted to see if doing a 5-week course of acupuncture, if that would actually lead to any changes
Okay.
for these people. So to track the changes, they used a few different things. They used polysomnography.
Which is a fancy word for...
It's a sleep study.
Okay.
They used anxiety questionnaires just to kind of gauge what their anxiety levels were.
Makes sense.
And they actually used urine tests
Oh, wow.
to monitor their melatonin levels.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and they would take all of these measurements before the acupuncture treatments,
Okay.
during the treatments, and then after the 5 weeks was up.
So they're really trying to get like a before, during, and after
Exact.
snapshot of what's going on with their sleep, with their anxiety. I mean, even with their hormones, that's really fascinating.
Yeah. No, that's one of the things that makes this study really interesting. They weren't just looking at sleep just kind of in a vacuum.
Right.
They were really trying to look at the interplay between these things. Sleep, anxiety, how melatonin plays a role.
Yeah, it's like this multifaceted approach to the whole thing.
Exactly.
That's really neat. So, speaking of interesting, let's get to the good part.
Yeah.
What were the results? Did anything jump out at you?
Well, yeah, I was actually really pleasantly surprised by some of the findings. So first and foremost, acupuncture seemed to really work wonders for people's sleep quality. Participants were falling asleep faster. They were waking up less during the night, which is always good. Huge.
Yeah, and they were spending more time in that deep restorative sleep.
Okay. I can already hear our listeners like breathing a sigh of relief.
Right.
Like, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But we are talking about insomnia and anxiety. So did they find any kind of link between this improved sleep and their anxiety levels?
Yeah, so this is where it gets really fascinating, I think.
Okay.
They actually found that alongside these sleep improvements, the participants, their anxiety levels decreased.
Wow.
And not just by a little bit.
That's huge.
Now, it's important to remember that just because things happen at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that one causes the other.
Right.
But it definitely hints at this strong connection.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely something to explore further. You mentioned melatonin earlier, and I know it's obviously super important for sleep.
Right.
But what did they find in terms of how acupuncture was affecting people's melatonin levels?
So they found that after the acupuncture treatments, participants, their melatonin production at night increased.
And then just as importantly, the levels decreased during the day.
So it's helping to regulate that natural rhythm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like their body's getting back on track.
Right. Yeah, it's not just like some magical sleep potion that you take and then you fall asleep. It's more like it's your body's kind of internal clock or timekeeper. And so it's signaling to your body when it's nighttime and when it's time to sleep and when it's daytime and time to be awake.
Makes sense.
So ideally, what you want is for your melatonin levels to peak at night and then gradually decrease throughout the day.
Got it. So we're dealing with these two kind of intertwined issues here, right? Insomnia, obviously, and then anxiety.
Right.
So how do those two things, how do they play into all of this?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it is really complicated.
Right.
Because the relationship between sleep and anxiety, it's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing.
Right.
You know, like which one came first.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we know that if you don't sleep well, that can make your anxiety worse.
Okay.
It can make you feel more on edge, more stressed out.
For sure.
But then at the same time, if you are struggling with anxiety, that can make it really hard to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
So frustrating. But I mean, are you suggesting that like if you can improve your sleep, that might actually have this positive impact on your anxiety as well?
Yeah, that's the idea. That if you can kind of break that cycle, then that might be one way to kind of start getting things back on track.
Got it.
Because it really is, like you said, this kind of vicious cycle.
Right.
And so if you can find a way to kind of interrupt that, then that might be really, really beneficial. And so, acupuncture might be one way to do that, but obviously more research is always needed. but I think these initial findings are really promising.
Yeah, promising is an understatement.
Okay.
So you mentioned this earlier, that this was preliminary research.
Right.
So I think it is a good time for a little healthy skepticism.
Of course. Yeah.
What are some of the caveats that we need to keep in mind about this particular study?
Yeah, it's really important to remember this was a pretty small study.
Okay.
Only 18 people.
Okay.
So we have to be really careful about assuming that these same results would apply to a larger group of
Okay.
people, just because everyone's different, right?
Right.
And then also, even though researchers try to control for as many things as possible when they're doing research, you can't always account for everything.
Right.
So there's always a chance that there were other things going on that
Yeah.
might have affected the results.
Okay, so take it with a grain of salt,
Exactly.
like we do with all things.
Yeah.
But there are some really fascinating specifics in here
Yeah.
that I do want to unpack a little bit.
Okay.
Like, for example, they noticed this difference in how people responded to the acupuncture.
Right.
Some people had really dramatic improvements.
Yeah.
Other people, it was kind of
Or subtle.
yeah,
Yeah.
more moderate.
Yeah.
So what do we think is going on there?
Well, I think that's kind of the million-dollar question
Right.
when it comes to any sort of treatment, right?
Right, yeah.
Is why does it work really well for some people and then not so well for others?
Yeah, exactly.
And so in this case, the researchers suggested that it could just be individual differences.
Okay.
Things like your genetics, your lifestyle,
Right.
how severe your insomnia is.
Okay.
All of those things could potentially play a role in how well it works for you.
Like everyone's body has a slightly different instruction manual or something?
Exactly, yeah. And so along those lines, the study also pointed to this possible link between a person's anxiety levels and how effective the acupuncture was for them.
Okay, now that's interesting because it seems kind of counterintuitive.
Right.
You're anxious, you seek out something to relax you, but then your anxiety might be working against it.
Right.
How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that when your anxiety is really high, it's just harder to relax, even if you're in this setting that's designed to help you relax.
Okay.
It's almost like your body's still stuck in that fight or flight mode,
Right.
where it's just not really receptive to those calming effects.
Wow. So it makes me wonder, is there anything you can do about that? Could you do things to manage your anxiety beforehand that might actually boost how well the acupuncture works?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something to think about. I mean, it might not just be about the acupuncture itself,
Right.
but about what else you're doing
Right, yeah.
to kind of support that process.
Interesting. Okay.
But before we get too far down that road, there's actually another really interesting detail from this research
Ooh, okay. I love where this is going.
that I want to bring up, and it has to do with, even though people's sleep improved significantly
Okay.
with acupuncture, they didn't necessarily report feeling more alert during the day.
Oh, that's interesting. Because you think, I get a good night's sleep, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls.
Right, you would think so, right?
Yeah.
But that's not actually what they found, which I think is really interesting.
Huh. Okay, so what's going on there?
Well, I think it challenges this assumption that we have about what it means to be alert.
Okay.
Because I think we often think of alertness as this kind of, like you said, bouncing off the walls kind of energy.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe there are different types of alertness.
Okay.
And so maybe acupuncture promotes a calmer, more focused type of alertness,
Okay.
as opposed to that kind of more, I don't know, jittery,
Right.
stressed kind of alertness.
Right. That's like running on fumes kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible that people were still feeling alert,
Okay.
but it was a different type of alertness.
So it's like this calmer, more grounded kind of energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is all incredibly relevant, I think, for our listener who's dealing with these two things.
Right.
So listener, with all of this information swirling around out there, where does this leave you? I mean, you're dealing with insomnia, you're dealing with anxiety. This research pops up on your radar.
Right.
You probably clicked on this deep dive for a reason. So what are your thoughts at this point?
I'm sure you're wondering if maybe acupuncture is the thing
Right.
that will help.
Is this the answer
Yeah.
to all my problems?
Right. Exactly.
Right? Like we were just saying, everybody is different.
Yeah.
What works for one person isn't necessarily going to be the magic, cure-all
Right.
for everyone.
Exactly. And, the study is really interesting.
Yeah.
And it offers some, really compelling evidence.
Yeah.
But it's just one piece of the puzzle.
Totally. It's like that first clue in a mystery novel.
Yeah.
It's exciting, but we don't have the whole picture. You
Right.
need to get all the other clues.
Exactly. And it's important to take like a holistic approach to these things, especially with sleep and anxiety. It could be a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, what are you eating? How
Right.
much are you exercising?
Right.
Are you managing your stress levels?
Exactly.
Do you have an underlying medical condition that could be contributing? It's
R-
all connected.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just about finding the right treatment.
Right.
It's about kind of cultivating a lifestyle that supports all of that.
Right. So you're not just like slapping a Band-Aid on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're
Correct.
really getting down to the root of it.
Right, right. And that's why it's always best to talk to, your doctor or qualified healthcare professional
Right.
because they can help you figure out what's going on,
Right.
what might be contributing, and then come up with a plan that's tailored to you.
Yeah, it's like having like that team of experts
Exactly.
in your corner.
Yeah.
So you can be like, all right, I'm not in this alone.
Right.
I've got people who know what they're doing and can help me figure this out.
Exactly.
Well, this has been incredible. I mean, I feel like I've learned so much about acupuncture,
Yeah.
about anxiety and insomnia.
Me too.
But before we sign off, is there anything, any kind of like final thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I do want to leave the listener with one kind of thought-provoking question.
Ooh, okay.
Because we talked about this a little bit about how, sometimes if your anxiety is really high,
Yeah,
it can actually make the acupuncture less effective.
right.
So knowing that that can be a hurdle, what are some things that people can do to maybe manage that anxiety in addition to the acupuncture
Ooh.
that might enhance the effects?
Okay, so it's like we're not just looking at acupuncture in isolation.
Yeah.
We're thinking about how can it work with other stuff
Exactly.
so that we're getting this like really amazing benefit.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, listener, we have given you a lot to ponder today. We have thrown a lot of information at you. We've gone really deep, as we
Mm.
tend to do on these deep dives. But, knowledge is power.
It is.
And I really hope that this has empowered you to take your sleep into your own hands, to figure out your anxiety, and like we said, get the help you need if you need it. But on that note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, we hope that you have very restful sleep and much calmer days ahead.